When was the last time you were even on this field?
I know our season was canceled March 12th, so probably the 11th was the last time we actually had a practice on the field here.
And then that was right before your home opener, too.
Yep, Manhattan was coming into town, and that up until the probably 3 o'clock that day, we still had intentions of playing them on Saturday.
We were talking about this too, in terms of eligibility relief. That was something that none of your class did, right?
We kind of collectively as a class said we weren't going to go back. Definitely we all thought about it. Once we found out that we had the eligibility, we kind of were already a little disappointed in what happened, and we really didn't see ourselves coming back.
And then homegrown through and through, Joe's and Canisius and now the Bandits. How's it feel to kind of get to the top of lacrosse in Western New York?
It feels pretty great, actually. Being a kid, obviously I was a fan of the Bandits. And there was always something in the back of my mind with playing pro lacrosse. My brother he played pro lacrosse outdoors. It was definitely great to see how he could do it, learn from him, and then try and obviously make my way doing it while staying in Buffalo for the entire career.
You mentioned you were a fan of the Bandits as a kid. How's it feel? You grow up watching one of the best to ever pick up a stick in John Tavares, and now JT's the one behind the bench as you get going with your pro career.
Yeah, it's great. Still, obviously, one of the best lacrosse players to ever play the game. And it's definitely cool. He had an amazing career, and I'm sure that as a coach, he's even going to do even a better job and build on that already great playing career.
And along with JT too, you got Dane, you got Byrne. A lot of fun if you get to break out and move it to those guys.
That's one thing about the Bandits is there's no shortage of talent. They've definitely had the most success, I would say, probably as a Buffalo professional sports team. And it continues as they keep getting these great players.
So you've signed the 1-year deal. There's no real date for training camp in sight. So what makes this upcoming box season, assuming and hoping that there is one, a successful one? I will be happy with my rookie year in the NLL if
we actually get out there and play. You know, we didn't have our senior lacrosse season here, and that was disappointing, or was cut short. I just want to get out there and play, and actually just if the team can play, they can succeed. And for my personal goal would be to actually get out there and do well with this opportunity.
In the grand scheme of things, you forego the extra season. You weren't expecting to be drafted, and all of a sudden Joe Smith just kind of drops it in your lap, and you find out the next morning. How often do you count your lucky stars that you can still put a stick in your hands now that you've left the college ranks?
That's the most important thing, right? Is always getting back out there and never really forgetting about the game that actually got you to where you are. And not only is it's obviously I'm very honored that it's a professional level. 4 years at school just go by so fast, and you don't really know it. And then, you know, we're sitting there, and it's June after you just graduated. You're like, oh, well, I'm pretty much done with lacrosse. So that's the most exciting thing for me, is that I still have that opportunity to keep it going.
What's it going to be like getting out to Bandit land, and instead of being in the stands and going wild, you're the one on the floors? Are you even taking all of that in? Is that something that you're going to kind of process, or something that you expect to process, or are you just completely dialed in?
Yeah, right now I'm pretty much just dialed in on sort of getting to my game to where it needs to be, getting in shape, like lifting, running, stuff like that, still playing lacrosse. But that is actually something, though, that is cool to think about, though. Especially with our lacrosse games here, we have fans, but I mean, it's not like the atmosphere of what the Bandits are, so that's definitely something cool to look forward to as well.
Do you think that would ever get distracting as a player?
No, I think it actually kind of get you amped up as a player. You know, never really lets the momentum fade. That's what's one thing that's cool. So that's definitely I feel like it's actually it helps the team that you have those fans there and the noise.